Ding. It's okay. Ask questions, and it's because it's AI, I can go through and say, cool, explain it to me like I'm 10. And I can get a more simplified version of that answer. So being able to get help and being able to access those resources in a timely manner at any time is going to be a huge benefit to any user, not just entry level or full admin advocate.
Yeah, Dallin, you touched on something that I just want to reiterate, and it's, something that I love about working at RTA, and that is, setting ourselves apart from the rest of the industry, and that is, the experience with the fleet operations that we have here, right? And I think with some of the new hires in the last couple of weeks, we're probably hitting that 450 to 500 years of experience running fleets, right? And I'm watching it make really, really good developments in the product too, right? It's coming from fleet best practice and analytics and things like that are key things that you want to see in a fleet operation. So it's one of the absolute things I love about RTA. It's, I think, the thing that is separating us from the others that are out there. And I feel like we're just getting started. I think the future is bright with where we're going. Uh, and man, I'm excited to be a part of it.
Love it. All right. Just as a reminder, as we're closing up here, we'll get to questions in just a second. But as I mentioned, and as Nathan was talking about the resources and the capabilities that we have within these four walls here at RTA, one is the Fleet Success Playbook. Feel free, we'll leave this on the screen for just a second. If anybody has not received or hasn't ordered their free copy of the Fleet Success Playbook, feel free to scan that QR code, pull out your phone right now and scan it. Like I said, we send these out for the betterment of Fleet. It's our goal here at RTA to help Fleet succeed. And this step-by-step guide from things like intentional culture and trying to improve the atmosphere within our shops, down to best practices from industry experts like Steve Saltzgiver, like Nathan Schaefer, and be able to rely on those experiences that have already come before us. That's wisdom, is taking knowledge from experience, right? And so the experience is there in that book. Feel free to grab your copy.
And I will say, just to add to that, we don't care if you are an RTA customer. Like, we're here to help the industry as a whole. Um, and that is even tapping into the fleet knowledge that we have here. So, even in the last week, I've had two people reach out to me that are not RTA customers, asking for some assistance, and that's what we do. We want to help better the industry as a whole. Again, we don't care if you use RTA or a customer of RTA. We're honestly here just to help and get you guys running in the best way possible.
Along with that, the other side, again, especially if you're not an RTA customer, one of those resources that we provide is the Fleet Success Show podcast. For those longtime listeners, you'll probably know Josh, Mark, Steve, those guys that are on there. They're not peddling RTA. We'll come up some of our experiences that we've had, but primarily the purpose of this podcast is to help mechanics, to help admins, to help better our fleet world. Our industry is one that's not highly enough recognized. And so we're trying to put the recognition back on that industry and best practices as a whole. Same thing, go ahead and scan that QR code to start listening. And you really don't have to be an RTA customer there. We're just trying to help everybody. Lastly, our RTA consulting, like Nathan said, we probably need to update this slide, make sure we have the accurate count, but over 350 years of experience between all of our consultants, our trainers, our support managers. RTA consulting is available whether you're an RTA customer or not. If you just have best practices or better practices that you're trying to implement within your shop, you need to know how to get from A to B. Learn from those industry experts, run an audit of your program, your practices. Let us help you be able to get to the point where you're the best fleet that you can be. And lastly, wanted to go through some of the questions that have currently come in. Uh, And as a reminder, feel free to throw any last or remaining questions either in the chat or in the Q&A, and we'll try to address those as we can. If there is anybody that would like personal contact or follow-up to learn more about Fleet360, to learn more about consulting, the Fleet Success Playbook, anything like that, feel free to throw in a private question or email us anytime. I believe. Well, you can always email at support@rtafleet.com for any question, and sales@rtafleet.com if you want to learn more about Fleet 360. Right. Starting off, some of the questions from our chat. Um, Talking about the shop scheduler, is this just a visual interface? Yes. Oh, and it looks like we had, thanks, Matt. That's correct. There's a visual interface there. Um, is there future development to attach photos to a request? Um, Oh, to a part request to know what the part is, and the part department needs to do research. Yes, that is a future development idea, Justin. I love that idea. It's been on our roadmap for a little bit. It's always fun to try to plot out what's most important when planning and configuring future versions or future features to the system. And so as the part request comes back around, that's one of the first things we're going to address is the ability to both from mobile and then from a computer as well attach an image, or even we actually want to take it that next step and be able to do a full audio, any attachment, audio, video, things like that.
There was a question above those, Dallin, before you get moving too far. It says, is the shop scheduler is not an option available in Classic, only Fleet 360?
I'm sorry, I did miss that. Yes, Earl. Shop Scheduler, there is a version of Shop Scheduler that's available in Classic only at certain tiers. I will be the first to admit that hasn't been touched in probably 15 years as far as updates. The Shop Scheduler in Fleet 360 is a complete standalone on its own. They don't link or connect together. And any that have used the Shop Scheduler, the version in Classic, will jump in and see it is vastly improved. It was kind of one of those we'd rather just make the chicken, then start with the egg. There's a question, what's the cost difference between RTA Classic and Fleet 360? It's not a super complicated answer, but it is kind of a two-part answer. If you are using RTA Classic hosted by RTA, there is no cost difference. Um, if you have hosting systems and you're logging in through a remote desktop protocol to access your RTA Classic system, you can always contact our support team, our customer success team. We can help you log in to Fleet 360 because you currently have access. And that's one thing that a lot of people don't realize. If you're logging into RTA on using that web browser or using the remote desktop protocol, you currently have access to Fleet 360 using your same login, same information. There is no cost difference. If you are not attached to the hosted version of RTA at all, it's a localized version. That question, as far as cost, there will be a cost difference, and we need to work that out with our sales team. Feel free to reach out to us at sales@rtafleet.com to find out exactly what that cost would be. It's all broken down by the number of assets that you are tracking in your program. Justin brought up a question about personalized or customized changes in Fleet 360 that are specific to your team. That's something we'll have to talk about. I know the Fleet bot and the Resource Center doesn't automatically trigger or drag to those. If they're depending on what those features are, there definitely can be customizations, things like settings, system switches, details like that, that it will automatically draw to. But if there are full-blown modules or full-blown custom features that don't exist anywhere in our knowledge base, we would have to train the resource center to look at those resources specific to your organization. And we can go ahead and do that. That's not something that is difficult or hard to do. We've done it for a few customers. If you need access to that, feel free to reach out to me anytime or shoot that into support, and support can get it to me. Make sure that those are being seen, Justin. Thank you for bringing that up. Will Fleetbot eventually be able to access the data on our site and provide insight into that data and trend? I think this is kind of a continuation. Yep, we can do that as long as we have a data source to point the resource center to that can be trained specific to your organization. That shouldn't be a
I
problem at all.
think I think on another level to Justin's question, we are looking at embedded AI tools that will, look at data and identify trends and things like that. It's outside of the Fleetbot, because the AI predictive maintenance thing is such a hot
I see.
topic. Yeah, I think that's where he's leaning to. So
Gotcha.
yes, Justin, eventually that's going to happen. We are looking at that currently. So I would say in the next little while. I don't know a date, but I know they're looking at
Say, don't you dare say a date. I'm going to be held to it.
it. I try
Yes,
not
now,
to.
now I understand the question better, Justin. Yes, that is on the roadmap as an idea. The tool that we use has limited capabilities for that right now. We're waiting for that tool to be enhanced in order to do that properly. We don't want to deliver something half-baked there. Jonathan, can we get a copy of the webinar? Absolutely. Everyone who registered for this webinar should get a follow-up email that's it's going to come through and give you details and highlights, and it's also something that can be shared out to other team members. Thank you so much for asking. Before we get too far into this, just wanted to bring up and mention our team, for those that are in the government space, our team is going to be at GFX next week in Charlotte, North Carolina. And so please feel free, come by, shake hands, give a hug. I'll take a hug. Uh, and if you'd like to learn more or see a customized demo just specific to your questions, I'll be there at the booth pretty much all day. Our team will be dispersed out through various classes, and we're running a few of those keynotes, a few of those examples throughout the GFX meet. So please feel free to stop by, look for our giant pillar. Um, let's see. Sorry, screen skipped. Having issues with making scan tables. I'm not sure what that one has to do with Kaido. Um, might have to look into the, or I'm sorry, Caden. Only saw the partial there. Might have to look into that a little bit deeper, or shoot over a question to our support team to help understand what you're looking for there. Can the shop scheduler show a tech assigned to a repair that takes multiple days? Does it show the techs are busy for those days on the one work order? Yes. So when you go and plot out the start time and the end time, you should be able to select those dates and times. If it does carry over to the next day, it should appear on your tech schedule the next day. The other side would be essentially to create the job. Say you only have 2 hours left in today. I'm going to put 2 hours on today. I'm going to go through and add a job to tomorrow as well and finish up that time. That's probably a great feedback item, Craig, that if we have a switch or a checkbox that says continue to next day, it's not quite to that level of sophistication yet, but I think it's a good idea. I'm sure jobs, obviously, jobs do take multiple days to complete as needed. Parts requests not working properly. That one we'll probably have to address off the webinar. Perfect. And then jumping into our Q&A as well. Will the parts request require the technician use a proper name for a part versus a shop name? Ron, that's a great question. So when the technicians are making a request for parts, they can use any existing part names and part numbers that are currently on file as they start typing in or typing in a description. We're searching description, part name and title, vendor details like that to help benefit that search. But if the technician is not trained on the parts, which is totally understandable, they can, excuse me, they can put in any bit of information that they know about that part, description, title, um, year, make, and model of the vehicle and the job they're performing. They can put in a description and let the parts people go ahead and do the research and uh, find what part they're looking for. And the other question from Ron, can we send work orders to technicians via their cell phones versus a tablet? What are the pros and cons of either? So the RTA mobile application works on mobile devices or phones and tablets. It is the same on both. The interface is slightly different just because the tablet you have a little bit more real estate, but really when it comes down to it, that's about it. There's no pro or con to either. It's the same application on both sides. The RTA mobile app is able to be configured through the personal settings to receive notifications. To receive notifications as, and one of those options is when jobs are assigned. And so it does bing and lets you know on your phone that that has been received. Thank you everyone so much for your time today. I appreciate it. And again, this should be going out and following up. Come and see us at GFX next week. And in the coming months, we are going to be holding our RTA Connect Users Conference in Las Vegas this year in September. For those RTA users and non-users that want to come and learn more about Fleet 360, feel free to register and we can get you those details. Again, I'm Dallin Dastrup, Nathan Schaefer. Thank you so much and hope you all have a